All right, Ryan, pumped to have you here today, man. So I just kind of want to dive right in. Remind me again, how many Ironmans and half Ironmans have you done up to this point?
It'll be four now. Got one coming up in 3 weeks, and then the big one in October.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Going to the World Championships, baby.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I love it. I love it. So, well, let's just go ahead and talk about the one that you have coming up in a few weeks. What does your kind of training look like? Let's just talk about this upcoming week. What does your training kind of look like for this upcoming week now, just a few weeks away from this next one?
Sure. Yeah. Well, once I found out I was going to the World Championships, I got a coach because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Most people don't even get to go to Kona, and I have that opportunity, and I didn't want to ruin it by trying to train myself, which I've done in the past, and I've done okay, but this is the Super Bowl of triathlons, and I didn't want to squander enjoying that by not being prepared. But I'm doing the Chattanooga half in 3 weeks, and it's up at 4:30 every morning. I'm getting into my taper. For people that don't know what a taper is, I've had a massive amount of hours leading up to right now, and now it's curtailing just a little bit. So this morning it was 3,500 meters in the pool. I'm about to go run for an hour and 20, a tempo session. So I'll run at my goal pace
Yeah.
for the race, the 70.3 goal race pace, which would be between 6:30 and 7:30 for 12 minutes, and then walk for a minute, and then off and on for 20 minutes. Tomorrow,
Nice.
I've got a tempo bike session, 2 hours. I'll do FTP intervals, which is the most you can do for an allotted amount of time. It's like VO2 max stuff. It'll
Nice.
be intervals of that. I'll do some hill climbs because Chattanooga is pretty hilly. And then just the rest is endurance, just trying to stick about 70% of my goal pace on the bike. The next day, I think I've got a 4,000 meter swim and an hour run. The day after that, I've got a endurance bike, just easy bike, and then a OTV, which off the bike, just so you can get your legs. Most people don't realize how different it is when you're sitting like this in aero bars and pumping your legs, and you get off the bike. It's a completely different set of muscles, and your brain feels like it's horizontal. Then you get vertical and try and run, and your legs feel like concrete. So it's just training your body to figure out how to do that.
Yeah. I can only imagine. So you said this is the first time that you've had a coach doing this. What do you think has been kind of a couple different things? What do you think has been the biggest benefit to having a coach, and what do you think is one of the biggest things that you've learned in regards to training since having gotten a coach?
Biggest benefit is truly understanding optimizing your time for training, because before I was just making stuff up to what I think my goal should be. And for the Florida Ironman, that was my first full Ironman. I was swimming an hour to 2 hours one day. The next day, I would swap between 1 hour run, 2 hour bike, or a 2 hour bike, then a 1 hour run. And then on Saturday, I would do a huge ride, at least a century, and then do a swim on Sunday that was at least uh, 2.4 miles, which is the full Ironman swim. So I was beating myself down to no avail for no reason. I was overtraining. Obviously, wasn't getting good sleep because my body was just trying to figure out what I was doing. And having a coach, it's a day by day plan. I've got an app, and I look at every day. I can see the whole week and know exactly what I'm doing. I can plan my meals around it. I can plan my nutrition during the workouts a lot better. I was pretty much winging it before. And I think the second best thing to having a coach is being able to call them and say, hey, I felt like absolute crap on this run. I was between 9 and 10 minutes, and I was 9, 10 minutes per mile, and I was hurting. And he can look back at my training plan, and it's connected to Strava, which all the information goes to when I ride, swim, or run. They can say, well, you went a little too hard yesterday when I told you not to. I know you were feeling good and you thought you could hit some 6-minute miles, but that's not what we planned on. I set this so you can get through the week and it be optimal to reach your peak performance during that week. So the next week we can curtail it a little bit so you can recover. And I never had that before. It's just having accountability with somebody that knows exactly what they're doing. They've been there before. He's raced Kona. He's been racing in some of the hardest races in the world, and he knows exactly how to get me to where I want to be. Accountability and just having somebody to talk to and that understands exactly what's going on in my head and in my body during a week of training.
Of course, dude. I mean, I've experienced the same benefits as you know. I'm doing my 1 mile run goal right now, and as of the time that we're recording this, I'm in beginning of week 10, and because it's not nearly the volume as your race, and because I'm just doing 10 weeks of training, like now I've started to taper off a little bit. I have my taper week leading up to the 1 mile run. But my biggest benefit of having a coach is I think people who are really driven and want to make sure they do everything they possibly can in order to achieve optimal performance in their goal, they will tend to overtrain or overdo it if they don't have a specific coach giving them a specific plan. And so before I had a coach, I was 1000% overtraining. I was doing stupid stuff, and that's what caused me to get hurt a couple times. And also having a coach gives me so much more belief in my ability to hit my goal. So I think those are the biggest things for me, and it sounds like for you too.
And your goal is awesome. Were you like 1 second away before? I watched the video.
Yeah, so I ran, my initial attempt was, my previous best mile was 5:15, and so my original goal was going to be to run a sub 5 minute mile, but I did it in like 5 minutes and just under 5 minutes and 5 seconds. And so I made the goal even and higher because that was kind of just like to see where I currently stood. And so my goal is 4:45. And I'm attempting it this Sunday at the time of this recording. So we'll see what happens, but we'll see. But yeah, so where? The ES Rose Park. Rose Park, yeah. Hey, no, if you want to come on, then bring it, baby. Bring it. But so I want to kind of backtrack a little bit to kind of your why going into, you know, you biked the Natchez Trace back a while ago, and I kind of know you had a friend pass away, and so there's a big why there in regards to kind of maybe doing your Ironmans and stuff like that. So talk to the importance of having a why and when it comes into play as to why having a why is so important, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you talking a little Simon Sinek right now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Great book. Anybody watching or listening, go get that book because it will change your life. I'd never ridden, like I've ridden a bike before, but before I'd met my friend Kyle Wagley, I didn't really care about cycling or endurance racing or anything like that. And he got cancer, and he would do this 444 mile bike ride every year. It's called the Tour de Natchez Trace. You start at the bottom of the Natchez Trace and it ends in Nashville. And he wasn't going to be able to do it because he was in bad shape, and we knew it was coming to the end. So I said, "Hey, Kyle, I'll do it for you. I'm going to do this in your honor for as long as they have it." And that was 3 months away from the race. I didn't know how much went into 4 days of 111 miles every day. And it was brutal. I had never felt so much pain on my rear end in my life, but it was worth it because it was for my buddy. And they had roommates the same every year. And his roommate, I was riding next to him, talking to him. He was riding this weird bike. I was like, "Hey, what is that?" Told me it was a TT bike or a time trial bike that they use in triathlon. And he started talking about Ironmans and started talking about how Kyle was thinking about getting into it. Right then and there, I was like, I'm going to do every Ironman I can because he can't. And that was the why, just being able to honor him by doing something he was never able to. And that pushed me through training for years and years. And it kind of morphed into a different why. It became solace for me. It became this little, however many hours a week that I'm training, me time. It allowed me to detach from the music industry. I always say it's a great juxtaposition of the music industry and triathlon world. With the music industry, you can do 100% right, and there's still so many things out of your hands. You could have a Grammy worthy album, and there's still so much that so many other people have to do to get it to where it is. And that's frustrating. And with triathlon, if you do 100% of the training, you recover like you're supposed to. You stick to your nutrition plan 100%. You're going to get to the finish line, barring an act of God. It's this beautiful juxtaposition that I really needed at that point in my life. And these days it's something that keeps me motivated. It makes me wake up at 4:30, 4 o'clock every morning to just be myself, by myself, and train and not listen to music, just think and power through this training. And then once I'm done, I'm back to get the job done with music. So the why, I guess, is sanity, also the love of competition. I know you played some sports growing up, and the first time I felt like I was about to walk out on the baseball field when I was a kid was the first race I ever did. I got those massive butterflies. I got the excitement of trying to beat everybody on that course. I'd be on the bike and just thinking, oh, I'm going to hunt that guy down. He's mine. And I hadn't felt like that since I was a kid playing sports. So that was another why. It's that internal feeling of being a kid again, just being able to fight for something that you feel like is bigger than you, and be a part of a community that you never would be a part of outside of racing. Or, I mean, with your running, like, you met your coach, you've probably talked to hundreds of people that are trying to do the same thing you are. Or you talk to some sprinters and endurance runners and gotten tips, and now you become friends. It just opens you up to a brand new circle of friends.
Yeah, no doubt. The last few things I can 1,000% relate to. I too have kind of multiple whys, but one of them is the kind of thing where, I like working out and I'm always going to work out, but I wanted something to train for. Like when you're playing sports in high school, you're training for that big football game on Friday night. You're playing for that big at bat that you're going to have. I played football and baseball. That big at bat you're going to have, and ever since I worked out afterwards, I wasn't necessarily training for anything specific, for any kind of specific outcome that I was looking to achieve. And this was like, all right, I don't want to just work out. I want to train for something specific. And now, like, I couldn't go to sleep last night because I was thinking about my damn 1 mile run on Sunday. And so, like, obviously it sucks that I couldn't fall asleep, but it's awesome to have those kind of nerves and the kind of butterflies that I know I'm going to have when I step up to the starting line on this upcoming Sunday. So that's definitely a big one for me. And then, like you said, it does kind of open you up to a community. Me less so than yours thing, because you're meeting all these people out there who actually go on the race itself. But me communicating to other people that I have this goal, so many people have like messaged me and given me pieces of advice, like you said. And when I thought I had a worse injury than I actually did in week 4 of my training, like, a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, like, no, I hope you get better soon. And it's super cool. It does open you up to a lot of encouragement and support from others, which is one of the coolest things that I've seen personally, for sure.
And I mean, outside of all that, it's that final sense of accomplishment. Like, you have put in so much work and you finally get to a finish line. Yeah, you might not get the time that you want. Like, I'd love to have a sub 10-hour Ironman or a sub 4-hour half Ironman, but it's not all about the end goal. It's getting to the finish line, but all the hard work you've put in to get to where you are. Because I know you have been doing a ton of speed work. Mm-hmm. And that's hard. And it's all about just getting there and figuring that out.
All right. Yeah. Down to the last couple questions here. You've done a couple of real endurance tests, and those are obviously super, super challenging physically, but they're also super, super challenging mentally. And, I got on a FaceTime call with you during your 24-hour bike ride, and I saw how absolute in pain you were there. So just talk about a little bit like what are some of the mental things that you have to do or mental hurdles that you have to overcome when you are experiencing the amount of pain that you are during such a long endurance race like that, and how do you overcome the obstacle to just kind of keep going?
Well, at one point in that ride, I told Heather I want to quit. I was just done, 100%. My mind beat my body, and Heather said, "You're going to be so upset with yourself in 2 days that you gave up after all this work you put in. You're not giving up." So it's having that support system around you telling you, "I saw all the work you did. This is your goal. Just suck it up." Because this is just your mind telling you you can't do it anymore. And it's not only training your body. I've figured out it is training your mind. You have to mentally prepare for those dark times, especially in a race. Because I remember in Florida, and I know I'm gonna get there in Kona, there's gonna be a point where that little mind or that voice in my mind is gonna say, "Why are you doing this? Like, you can just stop. It's no big deal. Just call Van, tell him to take you back to the starting line, get your stuff, go home," because it hurts a lot. And it's figuring out what to do and what to say to yourself to keep going. And that's different for everybody.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, I can't even imagine having to do the 24-hour bike ride. But that's good. Yeah, the support system thing is definitely huge whenever you feel like you are doubting yourself, because that voice in your head gets extra loud if there's no other voice, external voice telling you anything differently. But last question, Ryan, is what are your personal 3 most important health habits that you do on a routinely basis?
Oh, it's a really good one. I know, like you, there's probably a million of them. Right. It's in the past 2 to 3 years, it's doing your best not to eat anything processed, because I've seen a massive shift on how my body feels when I do eat something a little crappy. I'm super weighed down the next day during training. It's healthy eating habits. Obviously, getting enough sleep. You can't outwork poor sleep regimen. Yeah, you might want to watch that TV show, but you're going to pay for it later. Yeah, I mean, that was probably one of the most massive ones. Also, I think training mentally, like getting yourself in that mindset of, I'm going to be in that dark place. Let's figure out what gets me through it. And that's training as well. I mean, you're in the middle of a session and yeah, you want to quit. It's talking yourself through, figuring out how to push through. Yeah. And get to the point to where you get through that dark place. Because with these kind of things, even with a strength workout, yeah, oh, my legs are killing me, but this is why I'm here. There's a reason I'm here. There's a goal, and I'm trying to get towards that goal. Just because my legs hurt doesn't mean I'm going to quit. I need to figure out how to push through.
Yeah, no, I love that last one, and training mentally, because I know that that's one of the things that I have tried to and will continue to do with this upcoming week leading into my mile, because I know that the 3rd lap and the beginning of the 4th lap, my legs are just gonna feel like freaking bricks, and I know heart's gonna be beating out of my chest. I know I'm gonna feel super uncomfortable, but I'm trying to train myself leading up to it. Like, I know that's what's going to happen. I know it's what's going to happen. So when it happens, don't be surprised. Know that you've put in all this training work leading up to it, and freaking push through it. You're almost there.
Yeah. It helps to have a mantra. Like, find your mantra. One of my friends he would wake up and just say inertia. And that would get his mind thinking about everything. Let's just go, just move forward. And mine has been just get up and get it done, because that's the hardest thing for me, is getting out of bed. So I'll wake up, get through the fog, and just get up and get it done.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good stuff, Ryan. Well, I appreciate it, man. That's all we got today.